Out there, beyond the developed world, there are some truly alternative diets.
It's green. No, don't. Oh.
Strange techniques for diagnosing illness.
That really is burning.
Brutal ways of healing. And very different ways of dealing with pain.
I mean, that is absolutely amazing, isn't it?
My name is Chris van Tulleken, and this is my brother, Xand. We're both doctors, and we're also identical twins. Trained in tropical medicine, we are ideally suited to go and experiment with life beyond the reach of paracetamol and Prozac. And to find what, if anything, our world can learn from an older way of doing things. This part of our journey takes us to Central Africa to experience how the Bayaka Pygmies stay healthy in fetid swamp forest. We take their forest medicines, eat their foods, and witness almost exactly how disease jumps from animals to humans. We've come to equatorial Africa. This is the birthplace of some of mankind's nastiest diseases. The first stop on our journey deep into the rainforests of the northern Congo to find the Bayaka Pygmies. Their home, this forest, is one of the sickest places on Earth. Malaria, Ebola and HIV all originated here. It's a nerve-wracking environment for a pair of well-informed doctors. Most virologists believe that sometime in the first half of the 20th century, a hunter somewhere in this forest cut himself while butchering a primate he'd killed for food. The ape was carrying the simian immunodeficiency virus, or SIV. Benign to primates, the virus entered the hunter's bloodstream, where it swiftly evolved into something that was far from benign to humans: HIV. The HIV virus that infects 35 million people alive today jumped from monkey to man right here in the forests of the Congo.
At the back of my mind, I know we're going to go and live with a group of people who live unprotected in this forest, unprotected medically, and who are interacting with these creatures, and it's human beings interacting with the forest that bring a lot of these diseases out.
The swamp forest we're entering is one of the few places in the Congo that has a future as wilderness. It's low-lying and regularly flooded by several meters of water. The loggers, destroying everywhere else, can't get in here to cut down the trees. The flooding, incidentally, makes it a perfect breeding ground for disease. We leave the open river behind and enter the Bayaka's world. It dawns on me that I am in utterly alien territory. Rank, steaming jungles are a paradise for doctors of tropical disease, but the slimy, stagnant water is also a paradise for parasites. My imagination teems with viruses waiting to launch themselves on me and the rest of the world. The annual rains have not yet begun, and with water levels low, we're shortly forced to shoulder our loads and struggle through the mud on foot. We walk for 4 long hours and gradually reach drier ground. Eventually, we find the community of about 30 we're looking for. They're building a new camp. We watch as the women knock up domed structures, expertly roofing them in minutes, and are quickly dragooned into building what is called the bachelor's hut. More of a lean-to than a hut.
Is it going down? All the way down? This?
Every bit of the forest around us evidently has a precise use. I can't believe we're actually here.
This fulfills all of my childhood fantasies about living in the jungle.
In just half an hour, we have our own open-plan lean-to.
So where's head and where's feet? I think that becomes quite important now, doesn't it?
But come nightfall, it's clear the designers forgot about our height.
Can you see the sky?
Oh yeah,
Can you see the rain clouds in the sky?
yes. My view of the sky is
That is actually really cool, isn't it?
blocked a
Yeah.
little bit by some leaves.
I usually like to have no view of the sky in the rainy season.
I wonder if being too tall is going to be the least of our problems. Next morning, we're keen to begin our investigation into Bayaka medicine. We start with the basics.
Mabekete. Bayamba, Seseme, Makombo, Mabekete, Banjo. Malui. But me, Louis? Malui. Okay, so Ma is plural.
Boyemba is an Nganga, one of this community's healers.
Mio is nose.
Kingo.
Lombo.
Working my way down, I'm aware I'm entering riskier territory.
Tongu. Yeah. Eloko. Et les deux...
Les testicules, Mapindi.
Mapindi. Okay. Is that...
Yeah, Buma.
It seems certain parts of the body are universally amusing.
Pindi e Mapindi.
And the same is true for problems with those parts of the body. One of the many rumours I've heard about the Bayaka is that they have a sort of jungle Viagra.
We've heard in this forest that you have some treatments for when a man has a problem with a woman. Are you able to show us these?
Amena manga kabo. Kamabali. Masasi. Iloko.
Iloko. I got that.
I'm impressed. We've had Viagra for less than 10 years, but these guys have not one, but 2 medicines for erectile dysfunction. I'm keen to see how well their drugs work, and Boyamba and Ebako kindly agree.
I take this and this.
The first remedy involves chewing the long root of both the Makata and the Malanga plant, but you mustn't swallow.
Ebako.
Interestingly, Ebako, Boyamba, and all the other men join in. Could be a lively evening in camp. Only poor Xand abstains as the control for our experiment.
No woman is ever delighted to be confronted with the face you're pulling at the moment.
The second remedy is a blood-red infusion made by boiling mbemba bark. While I'm anxious about confusing the results of our investigation,
Drink.
I don't want to appear soft, so I go for the maximum dose.
It's a sort of flowery taste as well. Not yet.
This is the least erotic place I've ever been, with the exception of the North Pole. I don't have any stimulation here, and so if these drugs do give me an erection, I'll be massively impressed. I really mean massively impressed.
Boyemba says the drugs take a few hours to work, so I'm waiting. But at bedtime...
Not a sausage, literally or metaphorically, from today's drugs, which I'm really gutted by. I really thought, I just was convinced I was going to spend the afternoon staggering around with an erection. but I'm afraid it's been a day entirely free of tumescence of any description.
Next morning, we're taken hunting by Etwan. He heads back in the direction of the river, and it's only after an hour that we're told what we're looking for is crocodiles. But where Etwan takes us, there is no water. During the wet season, this area is flooded, but even now during the dry season, he insists the crocodiles are still here. Or to be exact, they're in holes under the trees. Sometimes.
What terrifies me is the technique seems to be to stand in front of the crocodile's front door and jab it in its to its back door.
It's impossible not to be worried about what else might want to live in a dark hole at the base of a tree. If Etwan's poking technique seems risky, de Bouter's is positively insane.
Oh, God. This isn't quite the way I imagined it.
I feel a bit curious now, having seen him go in and he's come out with his head on. Okay.
We're set to work on the next tree, but to no avail. Over the next 3 hours, I become convinced we will go hungry tonight. But then the cry goes out.
Yes, it's definitely a crocodile.
How well can you see him?
Well, you can certainly see his back.
That's the spine. These are the two lines of spines on the back, just there and there. So his head's up there.
They're going to open it more. They're going to open it more.
I was wrong to have doubted the Bayaka's knowledge and perseverance.
Okay, hold on. Comme ça, arrête le queue.
One 5-foot-long crocodile. It's not the 30-foot monster of nightmares, but it is an adult of the dwarf, broad-snouted species that live in the Congo.
Arrête ici.
I mean, he just seems so docile. It's hard to...
Well, he's basically hibernating, isn't he? I mean, you've just woken him up.
Yeah.
He's like me in the morning.
Oh, he's just amazing, isn't he?
Its jaws are secured, and Etwan attaches a convenient handle for the trek back to camp. Once the adrenaline of the hunt has disappeared, I'm suddenly reminded of the lizards we used to keep when we were boys. The butchery is brutal, but the local boys have no qualms, for this is a female. And crocodile eggs are a vitamin-rich treat. And 2 hours later, when Mzenge dishes out the crocodile stew, it's so good we forget about our childhood pets.
Yeah, well, that's delicious. Yeah, it really is excellent. This is the sort of fillet steak here.
Sucking contentedly on the bones, I realise if I stayed here, it wouldn't be long before I too was sticking my head down holes in search of crocodiles for tea.
It's good.
At breakfast, the optimism of the night before has disappeared. We're told there is sickness in camp. Delongo's baby is ill. Her husband Ebako is a junior in Ganga and has tried various different treatments, but Njenje the baby is apparently no better. Ebako has called in the more experienced Boyemba for a second opinion. To us, the baby appears extremely ill. We don't want to get in the way of Boyemba and Ebako treating the child, but we ask if we can watch. Child mortality amongst the Bayaka is extremely high. around 30% of children die before they get to the age of 5.
Does he think the baby is very sick?
Bayang je mona makono na mona naki wala tu nso. Babena budi. Babena budi.
Boyamba is also very worried about the child.
He's saying the sickness is in the chest and it's swollen down, maybe at the spleen.
So you think it's sick here and here?
But he seems confident that he can do something.
So he has great confidence.
Yeah, he has confidence in his own medicine. Yeah.
Boyamba heads off into the forest to collect the ingredients he needs to help Mjenje. Botanists have classified over 11,000 forest plant species in the Congo. But Boyamba knows exactly what he's looking for, and it's barely 100 yards from camp. He removes a couple of sections of bark from an mbuju tree and scrapes off the moss. He heads straight on for the second item on his list. Scrunched up mbasho leaves.
I suppose I had an expectation that we would sort of walk for hours and find one tiny obscure sample of it. And you don't realise the whole thing is a pharmacy of sorts.
And finally, I'm given a quick origami lesson.
But what does this plant treat?
This is for the eyes.
For the eyes, okay, so he'll put this in the baby's eyes. So what we're making here is a dropper, isn't it? That's what I haven't quite grasped. So we've put medicine into an eyedropper.
I don't understand how putting something in Mjenje's eyes is going to help his chest infection, but Boyamba's the healer. I'll be fascinated to see these medicines in action, but Xand has serious concerns.
Do you have any discomfort about doing this?
You're treating a child with well eyes by dropping some unknown plant into its eyes. Are you happy to do that?
I don't know, I've never been in this situation before at that.
Ah. Oh, there you go. My ethical concerns out the window.
It's the Nganga himself who starts by taking the eye drops. Apparently it helps him see the illness in his patient. Delongo goes next. It looks extremely unpleasant. And Mjenje doesn't like it either. But the only way for me to understand what's going on is to take the medicine myself.
You take your head back, Chris. He's not going to get any in there.
It feels like first my eyes and then my entire head have been set on fire. The bark from the mbuju tree is boiled up, presumably to release its active ingredients.
He's very thirsty.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, that's really.
Thirsty baby who doesn't like what he's drinking, but still wants to drink
I
a bit
feel
more.
very sorry for him because I bet he's absolutely parched.
So this is quite a funny school of one for you and one for me medicine, isn't it?
It's not like any liquid I've ever tried. Dusty tasting, it immediately dries out my mouth. Many of our most powerful drugs are derived from plants, and while Xand doesn't agree, I believe there's a good chance that this bark contains a chemical which might help Mjenje.
As bizarre as that medical idea of we'll all drop something in our eyes so we can see what's wrong with the baby, It's hard to see how that is going to do the baby any good, but it's a powerful metaphor, and he seemed very confident, and then he gave the baby a drug. My initial reaction was I was delighted that it wasn't as dreadful as I thought it was going to be, but as it went on, I found by the end of the day I was just totally depressed and miserable, and I've seen lots of children in that state die, and this child has got a 2 in 3 chances of making it through the year, and it's going to be the 1 in 3 that probably doesn't.
It's our 4th day here, and despite concerns about Njenje, the sick baby, the priority for the 30-strong camp is food. We're going hunting again, but this time we head away from the river, stopping only to collect the hunting nets. To save carrying them, they're left out in the forest near the hunting grounds, protected from the rain by leaf hats. Walking through a maze of elephant trails, I've been lost since we left the village, but the hunters somehow know exactly where we're going. Promising hunting ground is found, the tree is marked, and the party splits into 2. Xand heads off with one group, paying out a net as they go. I join forces with Bayaka, setting off in the opposite direction. Nets and jungles sound a recipe for tangled disaster, but Bayaka moves easily through the mess of undergrowth. I start to realise that I'm just not the right shape or size.
You don't have to spend very long here to realise it would be better to be a little bit shorter.
With a ring of nets laid, the other party begins beating the undergrowth to flush out any hiding animals. Our job is to pounce on everything from anteaters to wild pigs that might run into the nets.
I was sort of expecting the sound of herds of game running into the net, and I really can only hear people.
No pouncing needed this time. Bayaka patiently gathers up the nets again, and we meet up with the others. Xand has been as impressed by their ease in the forest as me.
They're slim, as in they haven't got much fat, but they're extremely muscular, powerful guys, and I think they look better fed than I do, to be honest. So I don't have any doubts that this is an environment where you can feed yourself very, very well. It's just a bit more sporadic than I'd like it to be.
We repeat the procedure 5 more times, covering what feels like at least 15 kilometres. The Bayaka take it in their stride, but it's been a long time since anyone in my genetic lineage ate this irregularly.
My water.
I'm exhausted and becoming painfully hungry. At dusk, we return empty-handed to the camp. Mzenge has prepared a vegetarian meal. Manioc, dipped in a stew made from koko, one of the surprisingly few edible leaves in the forest.
Okay.
It's good, but not much after the day we've had. Bayaka has been treating Njenje with the mbuju bark for 24 hours, and we're all hoping for signs of improvement.
Bayaka, do you think the child's got any better overnight?
Xand feels his worst fears are being confirmed.
He hasn't got any better overnight. He isn't doing very well at all. He just looks tired and miserable, and he's breathing very quickly, and it's just very sad. I think everyone's doing their best, but he's not getting any better.
Ibako is preparing a mash of 2 different barks, mixed with Eshio wood scrapings. This is Boyemba's second attempt at treatment. But faced with Mjenje's worsening condition, Xand is increasingly desperate to get out some of the medicine we've brought with us.
I think we probably are going to be able to intervene, and of course I'm itching to start, but I think we have to tread fairly carefully and make sure everyone's on side, because unless we can persuade people to work with us, that isn't going to work either. So
we will be leaving. Boyemba is staying. We must not do anything to compromise his position as the group's healer.
We've got enough time to just let the Nganga do what he wants to do and to work with him for a bit, but it is making me a bit edgy now.
As Boyemba rubs a handful of the uncooked mixture over Mjenje, I start to share Xand's skepticism. How can a massage help a child this ill? But the cooked bark looks like it will be applied in a more direct way. The cutting of a baby with an old razor is not something I'm used to witnessing. Yet, crude as it seems, it makes more sense than a massage. A poultice is applied over the cuts, allowing the medication in the bark to enter the body, just like an injection. Xand doesn't share my optimism.
I just don't think any of it's going to work, to be honest. I don't think a poultice applied to the chest is a good treatment for a chest
But it's
infection.
not a poultice applied to the chest. I don't know if it's a drug, but we know there are drugs in bark, and it's mashed up bark applied to the chest, but there are cuts in the chest. Look, I share some of your reservations, but I also think I don't get pissed off with me.
No, but I'm not getting pissed off with you. All I'm saying is you can't wait until your curiosity about traditional medicine is sated before you go and help the baby.
That's not what I'm saying, but I do think we both agree that you just need to build some trust with the Nganga.
Yeah.
Eventually, we come to an agreement. The next time the healers examine Mjenje, we will offer our help.
Come on, Chris, come on.
The next day is again spent hunting. Once more, to no avail. Until Ndongu spots a different target. He points into the canopy foliage some 40 metres above us. All I can see is leaves, but he assures us here there are bees. What follows is a slick and practiced operation. Almost instantly, a fire's lit for making smoke. And Ndongu and his brother head inexorably up the dangling vines.
I mean, that is just, I'm absolutely speechless. Does this make you want to have a go?
The macho, foolish part of me wants to try. But I'm sure I can't begin to match the strength-to-weight ratio of these guys.
The reason there aren't any fat Bayaka is because to get some honey as a snack when you're hunting unsuccessfully, you've got to do what this chap's doing.
A parcel of smouldering leaves is hauled up on a thin vine that appears from the heavens.
Presumably he's getting stung to bits.
Ndongu uses it to persuade the furious swarm to abandon their nest. A wicker basket is made from sticks, lined with leaves, and sent up for the comb. Ndongu reaches inside the nest, searching out the honey. He flings away the smaller pieces, but they don't go to waste. This is the only sugar in the forest, so I can understand why it's so sought after. But taking such risks to satisfy the communal sweet tooth seems near insanity. Ndongu and his brothers return to Earth, looking a little too relaxed. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help feeling a pang of jealousy. I wish I could do that.
2 bites.
That's amazing, isn't it? 2 stings. What's the most frightening thing? Is it the bees or climbing the tree?
There must be an element of showing off. But I can only gawp and gorge on the honey, which is scrupulously shared out.
It really is extremely nice. Is the crunchy stuff very different?
It's swiftly dawning on me and Xand that we have evolved in a very different place.
I haven't ever felt before a strong selection pressure acting against me to remove me from a group, which is what I really feel now, that I'm part of evolution in action. And every day that I'm hungry, and every day that I can't climb a tree, and every day that none of the women are interested in me because I'm the crappiest hunter in the group, or I'm the guy that didn't bring home anything, I'm getting closer and closer to not surviving in this group of people, that my genes simply aren't going to be passed on.
But this is an environment that exerts staggering selection pressure even on the Bayaka. Mnjenje the baby is still very ill. He's not yet responded to the Nganga's treatments. But Xand and I have decided we can no longer hang back. We ask Boyemba and his junior, Ibako, if they'd like us to try and help.
Okay.
We're extremely worried about undermining Boyemba's authority as Nganga to the group, so his enthusiasm is a huge relief.
Can we take this off for a minute?
Xand examines the baby.
Once I started to do it, you realise how difficult it is to be the Nganga and to be the guy who's the healer in an environment like this where every single person's watching and everyone is waiting for you to do something right. His chest sounds pretty good. There didn't seem to be any big areas of consolidation. He's breathing very fast and his heart's going very fast and he's very, very pale. I mean, look at this little hand. I'm sure he's had a severe malaria and he just hasn't got enough blood left.
Xand is not now worried about a chest infection, just the deadly effects of malaria.
You're going to do what babies always do and poo on me. Is that what you're going to do?
He's not very optimistic about Mnjenje's chances.
You're not very heavy, are you? Poor. Dismally bad. It makes me feel extremely frightened for the child, but it also makes me feel utterly de-skilled. I mean, I'm actually not very much use unless I've got a big hospital built around me full of other doctors.
Our medicine chest is far from exhaustive, but we do have a malarial blood test. Boyemba nicked Mnjenje's chest, Xand is jabbing his heel.
The test actually hasn't quite finished yet, but you can already see that it's positive. You've got 3. It's like a pregnancy test, and there are 3 bars there.
Xand's hunch is confirmed, and it's not that surprising. Malaria is Africa's principal tool of evolutionary selection. WHO statistics say that it kills 1 child under 5 every 30 seconds.
Hello, will you have a little bit of this?
Xand is going to give the baby a new anti-malarial drug called co-artemether.
That's good. Having been terribly cynical about what the Nganga was doing earlier and watched all this, I'm now in his position exactly. I don't feel half so confident as he looked. And what I'm giving was a recently discovered Chinese herbal drug.
Mixed up with a spoonful of sugar, the medicine goes down. And Xand's opinion of Boyemba has changed.
After I'd been involved, I realised how difficult it is treating an ill baby in an environment where a lot of ill babies die, and a lot more respect for a man who in the forest, when he's seen a lot of children die, can still approach another family and deal with them with confidence and kindness.
The group have been out hunting 3 days on the trot with no luck, and although the women have collected copious amounts of piu nuts and plantains, there is a disturbing lack of protein. Then, a lone hunter arrives in camp. The sight of this monkey immediately puts me on edge.
How did you catch it?
This is the nightmare scenario. Any monkey that can be caught by its tail must be sick. And it's from sick primates that humans have caught some of the world's most virulent diseases.
If you're catching a monkey with a spear, that's one thing, but if you're grabbing it by its tail, it's going to be attacking you with everything it's got, isn't it?
It's got a load of blood in its mouth, it's got absolutely foul teeth, and
it's got a bleeding foot. What do you think about having it for dinner, Chris?
Xand and I are thinking about mutating viruses, and Dongo and the others start preparing their meaty treat.
I'd probably rather be wearing gloves and masks.
This is probably how SIV made its way into humans and became HIV.
There are 35 million people infected with HIV worldwide, stemming from what virologists think have been just 12 transmissions of SIV from primates to humans. Neither of us is keen to be the 13th.
God, he's done an extremely tidy job there.
But the Bayaka have been eating monkey forever, and it's going to be difficult for us to refuse. The centerpiece of what will be our last supper with the Bayaka is roasted and boiled monkey. Having been cooked for at least 2 hours, any nasty viruses should be long dead, but the thought of eating it is utterly repulsive.
Are you going to have some?
I'm just trying to intellectualise it to get over my discomfort.
Yeah. Can you see its little foot there?
Oh, it looked like the smallest bit, and I've got a great big piece of monkey here.
I really do only want a small bit. Oh, God.
Well, tender it is not.
I wanted to be able to say it was like chicken, but it's not like chicken, it's like lamb.
Just as I'm beginning to accept that every available scrap of protein is vital in this environment, I get a nasty surprise.
So that's interesting. I'm absolutely confident that is not part of a monkey. I think this is a guinea worm, isn't it? This is the sort of worm that comes out of people's ankles, and you have to gradually unwind it so that you don't kill it as it comes out and you get a horrible scar on the skin. Well, there we go. That's a whole new culinary experience. Not only have I eaten monkey, I've eaten monkey parasite.
Xand has been giving him Genje, his anti-malarial medicine, 3 times a day. His mum Delongo is also getting vitamin pills 3 times a day to improve both of their iron levels. Despite our fears, this regime is happily accepted alongside the Nganga's treatments. On the morning of our last day, Xand gives him Genje a checkup.
Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? Do you think he's getting any better? I mean, his heart rate and his breathing rate are much, much lower, which is really, really nice to see. He looks like a much brighter baby. He's just a little bit more active. It's going to be early days yet to see a really decent improvement, but to me he looks like a kid that's actually doing quite well. Well, not so bad, are you?
The experience has given Xand a new perspective.
When I was watching the Nganga treat the child, I thought it was absolute idiocy and dripping the drops into the eyes and all this carry on with the bark, and I just thought it was all utterly, utterly stupid. And once I had to do it, I realised everything I was doing was very similar to him, right down to the fact that I was using what was, until very recently, a Chinese herbal medicine. And I was also giving tablets to his mother. Bayamba gave everyone eye drops, and I was giving tablets to the mother rather than the baby. And in fact, the huge gulf which I thought existed between the way I do medicine and the way he does medicine shrunk very, very rapidly.
It's in the right place.
It's our last day in the forest, and the boys have taken us to a honey tree, challenging us to see if we can make it just 15 metres up. But the gulf in our abilities is still as huge as ever.
I think I'm cooked.
These guys have an awful lot going for them in terms of health that most people where I'm from don't.
That's good, man.
And they're extremely happy, much happier than people I know. And that does sound trite and romantic, but I really believe that is true. Secondly, they're all immensely fit and powerful. Part of the reason for that is because you can't survive unless you are like that. They need to be in every way physically different to me. But part of the reason the guys are so happy and healthy is because the ones who couldn't be like them died in childhood.
For Xand and me, the contrast between our usefulness here and our usefulness at home is staggering.
I don't have a role, I don't do anything. I'm a passive observer, and I really thought by the end of the few weeks I might be able to gather honey, or I might have successfully caught a crocodile. And even things like I thought we could distribute some kind of public health message, that I thought maybe we could teach people to boil water. I thought we could teach people to wash hands. Is, I now realise, totally daft. And I don't think I have anything to offer here at all.
We have been found wanting in this, one of the sickest, most attritional places on Earth, which is extremely frustrating because it's clear from the Bayaka that if you can handle it, the forest is a great place to live.
It is their everything. It makes their houses, and it's their medicine cabinet, and it's their food.
Well, it's the best honey I've ever tasted.
It's their shelter, and it keeps them cool. And it shapes their bodies and shapes their lives, and everything about the Bayaka is about living in this forest, and all the diseases it presents all come as part of that package.